The Trump administration has fired the head of both the National Security Agency and U.S. Cyber Command. General Timothy Hawes' firing comes just over a year after he was confirmed by the Senate in December 2023. A senior intelligence official and a source familiar with the circumstances tell CBS News that right-wing personality Laura Loomer, who spoke with President Trump at the Oval Office Wednesday, played a role in Hawes' firing, as well as other members of the president's inner circle. The news comes after at least 6 staffers at the National Security Council were also cut following Loomer's White House visit. CBS News national security contributor Sam Vinograd joins us now from Washington. Hey, Sam, how significant is the general's firing and what effect could it have?
Well, Lindsay, it goes without saying that members of the administration serve at the pleasure of the president. But the how and why the general was fired, along with these other individuals at the National Security Council, is incredibly troubling. These individuals were fired immediately. There was no transition period. There was no opportunity for whomever is following in their footsteps to learn the job and to do a transfer of knowledge. So there are real concerns about a knowledge gap here and the perception by our adversaries that we just don't have all hands on deck in our national security apparatus at the moment. At the same time, the why. Individuals, in my experience, have been fired from top positions for failing to deliver on their core responsibilities. Instead, this time around, the perception, at least, is that a conspiracy theorist, Laura Loomer, presented what she called vetting information to the president, which led to these dismissals. I think overall, this is going to have a real impact on recruitment and retention to the U.S. government, as individuals feel like they could be arbitrarily fired if they get on the wrong side of somebody who's close to the president. And it goes without saying that we need key people in national security positions at the moment. The threat landscape is incredibly complex, and we need more expertise and more talent and more stability in our national security apparatus right now.
And CBS News has learned as many as 1,300 cybersecurity and infrastructure security agency employees could be pushed out or incentivized to leave in the near future. What impact would those cuts have?
Well, I worked extremely closely with CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, which is part of DHS, during my time there. CISA's mission generally is to protect the nation's critical infrastructure, which includes election infrastructure, chemical infrastructure, schools, and more, from both physical and cyber threats. They've really been in focus when there have been serious election security threats, including, for example, disinformation and threats to election infrastructure around the country. Now, if we look at the dismissal of about 1,200 to 1,300 personnel, that is about a third of their workforce. Their workforce is spread across the country. They have physical and cybersecurity advisors in communities that work with both public and private sector stakeholders, as well as a big presence here in the D.C. area. Dismissing a third of their workforce is going to mean that they are just unable to perform critical security functions in a moment, yet again, Lindsay, where we're not facing less threats to critical infrastructure. We're facing more, at least according to the most recent worldwide threat assessment, which was released just last week by senior members of the intelligence community.
Say, before we let you go, NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte told Face the Nation Friday Russia needs to move faster if it wants to end the war in Ukraine. Let's listen.
The ball clearly is in the court of the Russians. They are not moving fast enough, is my impression, including the impression I'm getting from my American interlocutors, that Russia really has to do more to bring this war to an end. The Ukrainians are reeling close to the American position.
We're out of time, but what do you make of that?
Well, President Trump seems to share some of this frustration. He said last weekend that he's very angry with President Putin. But then just on Wednesday, we had a senior Russian government official come to D.C. for government meetings for the first time in years. So the ball is certainly in Russia's court, but there's a perception by President Trump and by Secretary General Rutte that Russia may just be trying to run out of the clock and buy time to try to curry favor with the Trump administration while not being serious about making a deal to end the war.
Sam Vinograd, thank you.
Thanks.
You can watch more of Margaret Brennan's interview with NATO's Secretary General this Sunday on Face the Nation. It streams right here at 12:30 p.m. Eastern.